Welcome to the deep dive. This is where we really focus in on sources, pull out the key insights, basically to help you get informed efficiently.
That's the idea.
So today, we're digging into Keith Ferrazzi's book, Never Eat Alone. Specifically, we're looking at it through the notes of Joe Murphy, a consultant with, well, a lot of experience.
Right. So it's Ferrazzi's ideas, but filtered through someone who's seen these things play out in, actual organizations for years.
And our mission really is to get to the core of Ferrazzi's networking ideas, using Murphy's take, and give you some practical stuff you can actually use.
Exactly. Because let's face it, the old ways,
Yeah.
like cold calling, they just don't cut it anymore, really. Things have changed.
Yeah, totally. Which actually brings up something Murphy mentioned that kind of stuck with me. He talked about a friend. The friend got laid off
Oh, yeah.
and immediately regretted not, putting effort into networking before. The excuse was always, oh, I was just too busy with work.
Uh-huh. That sounds familiar.
It really makes you think, doesn't it? Like, how often do we just focus on the urgent stuff right in front of us
Yeah.
and let those, longer-term relationship things slide?
It's so easy to do. You get caught up in the day-to-day grind, the deadlines, and you forget about building that foundation, that network. And that story is just a perfect, if kind of unfortunate, reminder that you need to build those bridges before you need to cross them, not after.
Definitely. What's funny, though, is that Murphy himself wasn't instantly convinced by the book.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he grabbed it at an airport, thought it looked, his words were flimsy and too commercial.
Okay.
But then his boss read it, came back raving about it. And that kind of turnaround, from someone you respect,
Yeah.
it makes you curious.
It definitely does. Like, okay, what did I miss here? What's actually in this thing?
Exactly. So that's kind of what we're trying to do here. Give you the essence, the really valuable bits that Murphy pulled out after his boss's recommendation.
Think of it like Murphy calls it a networking field book. Practical how-to advice.
Okay, so let's get into it. What's the big secret, the main takeaway from Ferrazzi?
Well, according to Murphy's notes, it sounds almost too simple, but it's huge. Just
Yeah.
proactively reach out to people.
Just connect.
Yeah. And Murphy really nails why this is so critical. He uses this analogy about needing money.
Okay.
You need to have established credit before you ask for a loan, right? You
Right.
need relationships before you desperately need help. You can't build it when you're in crisis mode.
That's a great analogy. So Ferrazzi's whole thing, as Murphy sees it, is connect before you need anything. Just be in touch.
Build real connections. It kind of shifts your whole perspective, doesn't it? Makes you think, who can I just ping today? Not asking for anything, just connecting.
Yeah, it does. It moves it away from being transactional.
Exactly. It becomes relational. Ferrazzi really believed that the most successful people, they understand this. They use relationships for mutual benefit. It's not about one person winning. It's about finding ways everyone wins.
Okay, so it's about being proactive.
Yeah.
But how do you actually do that consistently? It sounds like a lot of work.
Well, that leads to the next point. Operationalize the stay in touch mindset.
Operationalize. Okay.
Yeah, it means making it part of your routine, a daily thing, not just, oh, I should call someone. Ferrazzi apparently used everything, his phone, BlackBerry back then, laptop.
Right. All tools for connection.
Yep. Murphy mentions his habit of just pinging people. Quick notes, quick calls, whenever he had a spare moment, like in between meetings or waiting for a flight.
That's very intentional.
Super intentional. And he even had this system, like if he was traveling, he'd print lists of contacts in that city.
Wow.
Just to see if he could grab a quick coffee or even just make a call. And a huge part of this was introducing people to each other.
The generosity piece.
Exactly.
The-
Based on that idea of reciprocity. You put good out there, help others connect, and somehow it tends to come back around.
The sheer number of people he was connecting with. Thousands, apparently. It just shows how much he valued it.
It really does. But, the way you do it matters just as much, the attitude behind it.
Right. Which brings us to giving, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Key point 3, give more than you expect to receive.
Which can feel counterintuitive sometimes, maybe,
Yeah.
especially in competitive environments.
It can, yeah. But Ferrazzi's philosophy at its core is about generosity, giving without keeping a running tally of who owes who.
So be optimistic, be friendly.
Yeah, that's the foundation. And then think about how you can actually be valuable to others. What knowledge do you have? What resources? Who's in your network that you could connect?
And Murphy mentions Ferrazzi connected friends with other friends, too, not just professional contacts.
Exactly. It's about building community, not just climbing a ladder. And Ferrazzi was really clear. This isn't about that awful, like, crude, desperate glad handling you sometimes see.
Ugh, yeah, that insincere stuff.
Right. This is genuine. It's about, as Murphy puts it, getting what you want, making sure that the people who are important to you get what they want too. It's mutual.
And those regular pings we talked about, they're a part of that. Nurturing the relationship beyond just when you need a favor.
Totally. It keeps the connection warm. Because, as Murphy notes, being invisible, that's detrimental. Professionally, socially,
Yeah.
you need to be actively building those ties.
Okay, so be generous, be proactive,
Mm-hmm.
but there's a danger there too, isn't there, of coming across as fake?
That's the tightrope walk. Which leads to the next point Murphy flagged. Make a difference in people's lives, not a sycophant.
Right. Avoid being the schmoozer, the flatterer.
Exactly. How do you stay in touch consistently without seeming like you're just trying to, suck up?
So how do you do it?
The key, according to Ferrazzi via Murphy, is genuine value. See every outreach as a chance to actually make a positive difference for that person. And hey, you learn and grow too.
So what does value look like?
Murphy lists concrete things. Sharing knowledge, resources you find, your time, your energy, even introducing them to other people. Offering empathy, support, it's broad.
It's about being a connector, managing relationships, not just collecting contact.
Precisely. And mentorship fits in here too, right? Ferrazzi advised seeking out mentors, people who can guide you, introduce you.
Makes sense.
But also, importantly, be a mentor yourself. Pay it forward. Share what you've learned.
And to make these interactions work, you actually need to, well, be someone people want to connect with.
Yeah. Murphy notes Ferrazzi emphasized being interesting. Develop your own style, your knowledge, have areas of expertise, something to actually talk about and contribute.
And the practical tip, make lists. Who do you know? Who do you want to know?
Yep. Be proactive about it. And again, the key is ongoing contact. Not just when you need something. It all ties back to that title. Never eat alone. Don't just avoid eating by yourself. Use those times, the social settings, to connect. Avoid being isolated.
Okay, and underpinning all this generosity and connection is this idea,
Yeah.
what goes around comes around.
Exactly. Murphy highlights this again. Connection is rooted in generosity.
And that do not keep score idea comes up again.
Yes, he really emphasizes that. Don't get caught in that transactional mindset. Just help people. Connect your colleagues, your friends. It builds goodwill. And that goodwill often pays dividends later, maybe in unexpected ways.
Now, if you're connecting with lots of different people, they're not all the same. You can't use the exact same approach with everyone, surely.
Absolutely not. That's a really crucial point Ferrazzi makes, according to Murphy. Adapt your style to the other person's style.
So read the room or read the person.
Pretty much. Be sensitive. Pay attention to their emotional temperature, their communication style. Murphy gives a simple example. If someone's quiet, don't be super loud and overwhelming.
Right, match their energy a bit.
Yeah. It's about making them comfortable, keeping communication open. Murphy uses that phrase, keeping the Johari windows wide open.
Okay.
And it's not about being fake or insincere. It's about adjusting your approach to connect better with them. Being considerate.
Is there a technique for that?
Murphy mentions mirroring, subtly matching their pace of speech, their volume, maybe even some of their body language. It helps build rapport subconsciously, makes people feel more at ease.
Interesting. Okay, so you're adapting your style. What about actually being interesting when you first meet someone?
Yes. Be interesting by being interested.
How does that work?
Well, first, be prepared. Have something to talk about. Stay reasonably current with events, sure, but also cultivate your own, maybe niche interests.
Like what?
Murphy gives examples like cooking, golf, stamp collecting, whatever you're genuinely passionate about. Having those passions makes you more relatable, gives you something authentic to share.
But you don't want to just talk at people about your stamp collection for an hour.
Definitely not. That's the balance. Share your passion, don't preach, don't monopolize the conversation, be enthusiastic, but also be interested in them.
And the bottom line, Murphy notes Ferrazzi stressed this. Be sincere. Always be sincere.
That's the bedrock. Authenticity matters.
And sincerity isn't just words, right? It's how you carry yourself. Body language.
Hugely important. Even quick interactions leave an impression. Murphy tells that funny, relatable story about eye darters in L.A.
Yeah. People constantly scanning the room over your shoulder for someone better.
Exactly. It makes you feel instantly unimportant. We make these snap judgments, often subconsciously, about whether someone feels safe, trustworthy, engaged.
So making the other person feel valued, feel special, that's how you become memorable to them.
Precisely. And there are concrete things. A real hearty smile makes you approachable.
Eye contact.
Yeah, good eye contact. Not staring intensely, obviously, but not looking away constantly either. Shows you're engaged. Keep your arms relaxed, unfolded, looks more open, less defensive.
Nodding along, leaning in a bit.
Yes. Shows you're listening, you're interested. Just don't invade their personal space, obviously.
Oh,
And then there's touch, a good handshake. Ferrazzi apparently liked a subtle elbow touch sometimes.
oh, interesting, like a little extra connection point.
Yeah, just a brief touch can build a bit more intimacy, apparently. Use carefully, of course.
Okay, so you've made the initial connection. You're being sincere. Your body language is open. How do you actually have a good conversation?
Right. Key point 9. Listen, question and contribute to the conversation.
Listening seems obvious, but maybe it's harder than it looks.
It really is active listening, showing you're interested. Ferrazzi suggests being the first one to say hello sometimes shows confidence, initiative.
Don't interrupt.
Crucial. Show empathy with those nonverbal cues we mentioned, nodding, engaged posture. Ask good questions.
What makes a question good in this context?
Sincere ones. Questions that show you actually value their opinion. Ask about their successes, their triumphs. Laugh at their jokes, genuinely.
And remember their name.
Oh, absolutely critical. Murphy highlights this. A person's name is like the sweetest sound to them. Make the effort.
Okay, and then how do you end a conversation well? Especially at like a party or a meeting where you need to move on.
Ferrazzi had tips for that too. You could reference something interesting they said, express you enjoyed talking, and then mention needing to catch someone else.
The light exit.
Yeah. Or use the offer of a drink either to continue chatting if it's going well or as a way to say, let me grab you one and maybe I can introduce you to so-and-so. It's a smooth transition.
Smart. Okay, one last specific thing Murphy called out. Something about conferences.
Yes, the conference rules, or as Murphy dubbed it, the conference commando concept.
Sounds intense.
He didn't detail the rules in his notes, but he specifically highlighted that section of the book as being really valuable, like having a deliberate strategy for making connections at conferences or similar events. Makes sense, those can be chaotic.
Definitely. Okay, so wrapping this all up, if we boil down this deep dive into Ferrazzi through Murphy's lens, what's the core message?
I think it's really that building strong, meaningful connections. It's not passive. It's an active, ongoing thing. It takes generosity, being proactive, being genuinely interested in other people.
And consistently putting in the effort, right? Staying in touch, offering value without always expecting something back immediately.
Exactly. It's shifting from just networking to actually cultivating relationships. Real, mutually beneficial, hopefully lasting relationships.
And it sounds like really practical stuff. As Murphy found, even small changes in how you interact daily could make a big difference long term.
For sure. It doesn't have to be this huge, overwhelming project. Small steps count.
So maybe a final thought for everyone listening.
Yeah.
Building on this. Think about one relationship, maybe one you've let slide, or someone you've just been meaning to connect with.
Yeah.
What's one small thing you could do, like today? Not to ask for something, but just to reach out. Offer some small piece of value, maybe just a kind word.
That's a great takeaway. That one small action, that might be the most powerful application of all this.